Monsieur Moshe Kantor, au nom du président de la République française, nous vous remettons les insignes de chevalier de la Légion d'honneur.
Your Excellencies, Ambassador of France to the European Union, Mr. Philippe Etienne, Minister, my dear friend, Jewush Edelstein, Ambassadors, parliamentarians, my dear colleagues of European Jewish Congress, distinguished guests. President Sarkozy gave me a chance by granting me a Medal of Légion d'honneur to say a few words about something which is valuable for me personally. To begin with, these values, first of all, are my dear members of my family. 4 kids and a wife. But I could not be a Jew if I don't use such an opportunity to speak about my last child, with whom I was pregnant myself for the last 3 years. I'm speaking about concept of secure tolerance. Sorry that I'm repeating this once and then once like parrot, but I believe in one formula. If you pronounce 1,000 times something positive, it becomes reality. That's why I'm using this formula. You know, Monsieur Ambassador just now mentioned, by the way, I agree about everything you pronounced about me, and I'm sure, thanks to interpretation, that the majority of things were positive. But I want to say, one thing was very interesting. In the speech you mentioned that I did a museum, which is called the Museum of Avant-Garde Mastery, about École de Paris. You know what is interesting? The majority of the members, of the artists of École de Paris used to be Jews. It's statistics. About 70-75% in the beginning of the 20th century in Paris used to be Jews. Modigliani, Sonia Delaunay, Chagall, and others, majority of them were Jews. They more or less escaped from Russian Empire after pogroms, revolution, etc., etc. And why this community of artists used to be so flourishing in the center of Europe, in Paris? Because of one thing, because of the atmosphere of tolerance, which was in France, which used to be in Paris at that time. They had the chance to be competitive, not because of the origin, not because of the money, because of their own skills. And they succeeded and managed this competition. And that's why École de Paris was known, is known, and will be known forever. And this is the product of the tolerance. And using this, opportunity, I want to deliver the message which I am trying to deliver the last few years. But using this beautiful auditorium, I want to say a few words about what I'm really engaged, what is my last child. And with your permission, I will do it just now. This baby is called secure tolerance. Today we spoke already about this during the ceremony. What is the secure tolerance? The world is living in expectation of the cross-fertilization of two seemingly unrelated concepts. These are the concept of global security and tolerance. We know so little about them. The concept of national security, that is security limited by actions only within national borders of any state, has practically disappeared today. It has given way to global security that is described in terms of a planetary framework, including, of course, outer space, the entire surface of the Earth, without exception, and its entrails. On the other hand, the global world cannot live without tolerance, which is a civilization value that is equivalent to security. In fact, tolerance is a directive that society gives itself to perceive phenomena and concepts to the point of their fundamental recognition as the right to life itself. Without tolerance, no development is possible along any line of social activity. It is an instrument to perceiving innovations in science, technology, art, medicine, political science, philosophy, and so on. However, is unlimited tolerance admissible? What is tolerance without restrictions? On the proliferation of nuclear weapons outside the legal field, on terrorism, including international terrorism, on racism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, extremism in any form, and so on. Can there be no restrictions on migration processes that have already reached global proportions? Of course not. Tolerance should meet security requirements. That is why we introduce the concept of secure tolerance, which is, after all, the aim of my message. Secure tolerance must be promoted in the public mind and practiced in the most democratic way, that is, through lawmaking. This way alone will the promotion of secure tolerance be permanent and irreversible. There is no better field to implement this project than the European Union, because in itself it is a product of tolerance shown by 27 nations for each other, and because it is fully exposed to all the challenges of the today. Three crucial factors decide without exhausting, however, the promotion of secure tolerance. First, education. Above all, first of all, primary education. We may be late forever if we start to teach this difficult new language of communication to children over 5 years old. Secure tolerance is inseparable from the need to develop reconciliation technologies in society, which in turn is based on the legal or either in or out of court recognition of the historical truth of the event, and let's say the Holocaust is the best example. The Nuremberg Tribunal is the best thing to show how to foster the memory and the historical truth of the main catastrophe of the 20th century. And last but not least, still another factor, secure tolerance and reconciliation technologies should be formalized in a code of laws both national and supranational, the making of which, once started, is never to stop. Meanwhile, secure tolerance and reconciliation are just as mutually complementary as analysis and synthesis. Even if pressed by the political situation and his or her own doctrine, any modern politician should have the right to say, I personally don't want to have anything to do with my opponents, but under the law of secure tolerance, I am duty to bound to follow the spirit and the letter of this law for the sake of development of my own country. It will be expedient for European Union, with the possible involvement of USA and Russia, to form a center, maybe even university, to make secure tolerance and reconciliation laws and rules that would encompass all lines of research and education in this sphere. To finalize, I want to deliver you one of the jokes which I love very much about Jews who came to Rabbi asking him to pray the God to send them the rain, because they terribly needed the rain. And the Rabbi answered them, go home, you will not have the rain. And the guys asked him, why? And the Rabbi told them, you came without umbrella. But the guys were Jews, and they told the Rabbi, listen, we are Jews. We are getting between the drops. We don't need umbrella. That's why this is an explanation why I'm using every chance to speak about our main values. Sorry for this, and sorry for the patience you demonstrated today to my last child. Thank you very much.
A beautiful child.
Right.